pledge, please. Pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You can stand for just a moment, for those that we've lost. Thank you. Good evening. We'll begin with the approval of minutes. We have 4 meetings. If there's no objection, we'll do them all. One shot. 4 special meetings, April 10th, 15th, 16th, and 29th. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve all 4 meetings.
Motion by Charlie, second. Second. All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Police report.
Not me.
Would you like to give? Oh, no, sorry. We have a, sorry about that.
You want to give
You can if you want.
your
Incident summary, total calls 1508. Arrest summary, misdemeanors 16, violations 9, felonies 1, total arrests 26. Summons is issued, parking meter tickets 158, traffic tickets 124, 0 summons. Revenue collected, 640 on the meters, 910 on the village tickets, and $12 on report fees, for a total of $1562.
That's a lot of calls, huh? Is that excessively high?
These?
The total calls. I didn't realize they were.
Well, that, you know what, that's actually something I'm gonna make a note of, because I'm thinking that might be
I thought it was
calls, actual calls.
Well, but even then, I thought it was something like 800, 900, 1,000, something like that. I mean, that's busy.
It's blotter entries.
Right.
What does that mean? Somebody calls on the phone and they log it in on the.
Anything and everything they do that they need a record of
Okay.
generates a blotter entry.
So 1,508 calls is the amount of calls that they got in the police station this month.
How many times the cops requested information and
Okay. I was going to say, because it's about 500 higher than it usually is, it just is all of a sudden that.
Well, usually as the weather gets nicer.
Yeah, okay. They get busy.
Sandhurst, to say Sandhurst was also last week, so we had, or the weekend before, and Boy Scouts Camporee was last weekend, so we had a very big influx of out-of-town people.
Okay.
We have a resignation attached to the part-time dispatcher Domenico Seminelli letter of resignation. An exit interview was conducted, and he advised me that his decision to leave was based on his lack of availability due to his other job and school. His letter is on the back of paperwork.
Make a motion, we accept the resignation.
Do I have a second? All in favor? Opposed? Fire report?
We have the chief here. Chief, would you
I don't
like
have a
me to
hard
read
copy.
it?
Yeah.
Oh,
I have a hard
okay,
copy.
I have the copy and I've got reading glasses. For the month of April, the department responded to 13 calls, including 2 automatic alarms, 1 furnace malfunction, 2 gas calls, 1 transformer fire, 1 standby, and 1 smoke detector sounding. Installation of the new high visibility striping is in progress. That's the chevrons in the back of the emergency vehicles. And only rescue vehicle 430 remains to be fitted. Engine 429 has been looked at today and is in need of some repairs that will require immediate attention, and we are already waiting on the parts. Thank you, Chief.
Also, I'd just like to add one request, if I could ask the board to accept a new member that we've been waiting on his paperwork and his physical. I was supposed to have his physical by Monday, but obviously that's not gonna work out. The only reason I am asking this, because we shouldn't have to do this until he has everything. But if we don't, I'm waiting on a qualified interior firefighter until the next meeting to be approved. That'll be 3 weeks that I can't take advantage of this guy while I have it.
So you want to make it contingent upon him passing the physical?
He's passed his physical. I've already been in contact with the company. Why they did not send a copy home with him, I don't know. She said she faxed it. I don't know where she faxed it to because the only two numbers she has is here at Village Hall and my firehouse. And it's not there.
Do we have copies of?
No, you don't, because we were trying to keep.
I thought it was in there. That's all I saw.
Thank you.
I'm not 100% though.
That's the information on the candidate?
That's, yes.
We didn't get that, right?
No, you didn't.
I don't remember.
I didn't, so I was kind of hoping to submit it with everything tonight, coming home this afternoon and finding that at the fax machine, but it wasn't there, and I cannot get a hold of her to fax it again.
Can we do a motion contingent upon receipt of his physical and?
Yeah, I'm saying as long as all the paperwork gets to Gina.
You comfortable with that?
Yeah.
He can
You sure?
actively participate until she has his paperwork.
Right.
My only question would be insurance. If you do not have a copy that he passed his physical, even though you say they told you he did, if something were to happen.
He's not gonna respond.
No, he's not, but I just want to be able to when I get his paperwork, be able to call him and tell him.
Yeah, just as long as we're clear
Yeah,
that
no,
without
no.
that, nothing.
No, that's always been the thing, he's not.
He's not a firefighter until after Gina says
Right.
everything's in and it's good.
So we'll make it contingent upon Gina getting the proper paperwork. If,
I just didn't get to see it.
yeah, it's just goes on.
We don't have his name, so somebody.
Jared Davis.
Jared Davis.
Someone needs to motion with his name.
I make a
I'll
motion,
give Jim a second to look at it. Go ahead, man.
I'll make a motion with that Jared Davis, contingent upon Gina receiving all the paperwork needed for his appointment.
Do you have a second?
Second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Pass? Yes.
Just pass. I wanted to ask, did we get any new recruits during the recruitment
Yes.
drive?
We actually, in the last 3 days, have received four new applications.
That's fantastic. Terrific, thank
Yeah,
you.
three of them came in right at the event, so.
Okay, we have the appointment, Bog Meadow caretakers. Time to reappoint the volunteer Bog Meadow caretakers to keep an eye on the area, reporting violations to the local authorities for the calendar year of 2013. Following caretakers request reappointment: Angelo Teslini, Randy Mesh, James Ramus, Bill Barron, and Fred Herman. And also requested appointments David McCutcheon. Village clerk will issue them a key, free of charge, and identify tags if approved. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a request for training. Pat Patterson. Does everyone have a chance to look that over? Any questions?
Yeah, if there's no questions, I'll make the motion.
Do I have a second?
Second?
In favor?
Yes.
Aye.
Opposed? We have a facilities request for the Highland Falls Library from the Highland Falls Library for parking space in Municipal Lot 2, Saturday, June 1st, 5:45 to 9:30. Does everyone have that?
Yep.
Okay. Do I have a motion?
Am I allowed to move it? I'm chairing
Let's
the
see that.
event.
You can if you want. I have a problem with that, but I don't think these guys
No,
are
maybe
mind
not.
moving it either. Why don't you?
I make the motion that we.
Just a quick question, and I'm not trying to nitpick here. They don't need insurance, right, Gina? No, okay. Just a
You're just
question.
looking at Kenny. make sure there's.
Right, put the sign up, okay.
I'll move it then, or second it.
Bob moves it, Charlie seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is grass cutting bids. Got an opportunity to look those over?
Yes.
Any comments,
Yeah.
questions?
Yeah, I got is this a prevailing rate job? I mean, I was all the shirts taken. I'm just wondering why there was such a big spread on,
They're given, all are given the same scope of work of what they're going to cut, where, how much, and they just put in based on what they feel it will
Okay.
cost them to do it.
I see everybody's provided insurance, or the only big guy who's won it, that's all I was concerned with, but, I was just, the spread seemed to be rather large, so I was just wondering if we're all looking at the same thing correctly.
I asked the question too, and this is a startup, this is a new company,
Okay,
and they're looking to get their name out and get into the town. And I believe that was part of the reason why they bid so low. So I need a motion. Right now, we're looking at 5 companies. If I can get a motion for Neighbors Landscaping and Design.
I'll make a motion to go with the low bid Neighbors Landscaping and Design for $10,477 even.
Do I have a second?
second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We have a request for handicap parking on Church Street. I believe everyone has the paperwork. Any questions on that?
Is this the one you're referring to downstairs that's there already, just?
Nope, that's a different one. That's Sweet Prospect. There is not one here.
The chief look at this and everything?
He actually did. Pat Patterson has also been involved. They already looked at the spot, measured it out to make sure everything was good to go. And what's that? Back is the resolution. Okay.
Chief is okay with all the village laws and all that, as far as designated handicap spot?
Yes. Whereas the Board of Trustees is authorized and empowered to make and amend by resolution any rule or regulation for the reasonable control of traffic on the public streets of the village pursuant to section 108-3 of the Code of the Village of Highland Falls. Now thereof, it is resolved by the Board of Trustees as follows. This is a type 2 action under SEQR that section 108-71, handicap parking, be amended to include the following. Church Street East, beginning at a point of 548 feet north of the northeast corner of Church Street and Cousins Avenue, continuing for a distance of 20 feet. Be it further resolved that the foregoing amendment, as contained in this resolution, shall become effective immediately upon publication of same in the official newspaper of the village. Are there any questions before we move to motion?
I'm just wondering where 548 feet lands up.
They actually,
Walked it.
they walked it, they measured it all out, Pat and Chief Scott.
Is it past Holy Innocents?
It
going
is.
north?
Yes,
Is it
it's about 4 houses past north.
like
Past
39, somewhere around
42, I think.
42,
okay,
yeah,
right.
40, it's right here.
there? Okay, all right, I didn't see that, I'm sorry.
It's all good.
Okay, sorry, I see.
The reason being, these people have actually been there for a little while, but there's been an increase in population on Church Street and parking's become very difficult. And they do have it, I double checked the need, and there is a need,
That's
For
busy
that.
right there in park.
unfortunately.
Not that, should there be a form or something we come up with so people who do have special needs can like just fill out a simple little form and then that way, you know, because I don't want it to seem, I want to help, you know, families who have special needs, but I don't want someone to just come in and say, hey, you know, can I get a handicap outside my house? I mean, you wouldn't have a handicap sticker unless you had one,
I actually think that's
but just a simple
good idea.
form, not to get into medical
That's a
issues,
good idea.
just, hey, we have a request,
Well,
whatever.
typically that's what it's been. They just
Okay.
write the letter that
Oh, okay.
then the chief of police would look at with the highway superintendent and bring their recommendation to the board.
All right. So we have a letter on this one?
Yeah, I just gave it.
That was the
See
one that you
downstairs?
just received.
This one here. Got it. Then forget it. Then I want to reinvent the wheel. Just that they put a letter in.
Actually, I don't know if that actually might even be a better idea for our records and everything though, too. To make sure that on their letter, we have all the information.
Something simple, to something,
I think that's a good idea, that's something we want to look into.
Request would be.
just a simple little letter or form.
And that way, it can be referred right to Chief Scott.
Yep, and kick the gene. And I'll make a motion to approve that, if you're at that point.
We are. Do I have a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
I'm sorry, Pat, there's a roll call for that.
I wasn't sure, is that what that, anytime I see that, there's a roll call?
Yeah, it's
All right.
roll call vote.
That would be it
Trustee
too.
DeSalvo,
Aye.
Trustee Malin,
Aye.
Trustee Murphy.
Aye.
Mayor Flynn,
Aye.
and one absent.
All right, we have an update on the Mearns Avenue drainage. Todd Atkins, Berry Hill Project Engineer reports need to be finalized. We can finalize the report and move it. Oh, okay. This is for the paving, correct?
Yeah, this is the Sue Kelly money?
Right. Basically, a project was started several years ago, and unfortunately, due to DOT, it's been held up. And we had, right, Jim?
Yeah.
We asked for an update because we've had several citizens questioning what's going on, particularly now we're coming back in the season. Is anything going to get done this year? According to DOT, they pushed back the construction schedule from 2013 to 2015. We will approach them again. For those that know DOT, know the problems and issues. We are looking into other avenues as well, but that's where that project is for those people on Mearns that are looking for answers. We did contact the DOT, and we are in contact with them trying to move the project along.
So, it just says in here that if we want the board to finalize the engineering report, do we have to approve something, Gene, tonight?
Well, it sounds like, Todd, they have a report ready to go that they're not gonna work further on
Right.
unless the board says, because that'll be charges to us.
Do we have any idea the cost of the continuing on with this?
DOT doesn't need it, do they? Or they do?
Yeah, but according to what Todd tells us, that they're not looking to start construction for 2 more years, so he wasn't sure you want to do anything right now to push the design, but you certainly can. It's up to you, as the board.
Now, if we do this design, we have to pay for it now, or is it going to come out of this money?
It's all charged to the project, so it's all coming out.
We'd get it back eventually.
Eventually.
It's still a matching fund grant and.
Right, you have to do the work before you get the money.
Right.
So we
Well,
have
we
to
can't
let,
start the work until
whatever we
DOT
pay
tells us
the
that we
city
can,
to continue
that they're
on.
gonna reimburse us. And now they're telling us they're pushing it again to 2015,
Unbelievable.
Can we-
unless you can try to get it moved up sooner, which I don't know who's the closer to
Right.
for that. But,
I'm going to give Todd a call, and then we'll see if we can.
they're just sitting now until the board tells them to move forward with the design part.
Is the design work also a 50/50 reimbursement?
It's all part of the same project. It's all in that same project.
It does anything to do with the project, I think, but I was just curious as to the cost of it before we have proceed, you know, just to get an idea whether we have it.
I
Right.
guess you'd have to get an estimate from him on how many hours
Right.
he feels it would take and get his hourly rate, and there's your
Okay.
estimate.
Okay, so I will give Todd a call and get the cost on that, and ask him if indeed he needs to, if he feels we need to take on that expense now,
Right.
to move, if it'll move the project forward, obviously we want to do that. If not, if it's not going to make a difference, then I don't know if we want to incur costs.
We'll see what he thinks about how they do it, the
Time
time frame and all that. yeah.
Exactly. Next on the agenda is the hazard mitigation plan update. Has anyone had a chance to look that over? Basically, It's a plan that was put together a couple of years ago, 5 years ago, and it needs an update, and it is gonna cost, but because we have this in place, it is believed that it was easier to get the FEMA money as well as other, if other occurrences like that happen, it's something that we should have, I believe that we should have in place, yes.
I think, well, the town of Highlands, theirs looks like it doesn't come due again until 2015. Since we do share Mr. Falchetti, who may have been involved with Highlands, could we get our hands on theirs and try to do a combined village and town mitigation or, local hazard mitigation plan, so it's a joint municipality? We definitely need it, but I think it might be more valuable if we work with the town as well.
Right.
And possibly we might save money.
Could be to our benefit.
I agree. Okay, I will also relay that to Todd.
Mayor?
All right, I didn't get, yes.
Are you talking about the same thing that the Emergency Management Committee's going over right now?
Through Office of
Yes.
OEM?
Well, we have the disaster coordinator, and like all the chiefs from Fort Montgomery, Holland Falls, the police, and the ambulance go to this meeting, and we discuss what's going to happen in the next big disaster.
I believe that's it.
Right.
So it's being worked on.
Yeah.
Well, no, we actually have to pay for it, but that's what, if we update it, we have to pay for it. If we don't update it, we don't have to pay for it, but we're saying we want to update it, we just want to see if there's a way to do it with the town so that we can.
They're going to be different.
No,
We can't,
because
There's a state submission.
The jurisdictions have different hazards that present themselves.
I don't wanna cut you off, but I think these might be two different things. One might be, that's disaster preparedness, and I think
Yeah, I
this
know we
is,
had
even though this is a different name, this is just local hazards mitigation plan. It helps us with getting money from FEMA and et cetera. So maybe similar, but I don't know if I think they may be two different animals.
I was gonna say, if we're doing it for free,
Yeah,
if we're doing it for free, there's no sense of paying for it, right?
yeah.
I agree. I will ask Todd about that. With the defense communities, I don't have any follow-up material, so I don't have a problem with putting that to the next agenda. Oh, you do? Thank you.
This is just off of the website.
Okay. You know what, it's, I'll make copies available so we can look this over, rather than try to digest this now. This is information off the website, and unless you wanna take a couple minutes and look it over, it's up to you. If not, we can
This is
just,
this defense communities thing?
yes, we can move it to the next agenda, it's not time sensitive, so. Basically, what it is a membership to a group, it's called the Association of Defense Communities, those communities that live outside bases. And the benefit that I'm being told by several different people is that by being a part of the group, you have better access to possible money, possible solutions that other groups are going through. So there's a lot of more information directly related to communities outside of bases with this group. It's a $200 membership fee for the year.
I said we'll just do it.
I'm okay with it if you're
If it
feeling
doesn't
that.
work out, I'll put the
Right.
$200 up. You know.
Write that in, write that in.
I second it because I think it may also help us lobby, and we can share information with the school district if we
Exactly.
have issues, again, with impact aid.
The key is when we make the $200 investment, that we actually make sure that we utilize this to the best of our, that way it's just not something we join and we get a magazine once a month and, you know, that's it. We need to make sure that we pursue it, because I do think it's gonna be a good thing.
If memberships expire on the 30th, that won't expire this September, we'll go the whole next year.
Okay.
I don't know, it just says they expire the 30th of each year.
Right, we will probably pay a prorated rate, and then in September we'd ask for the year, I would imagine. But again, we can check on that, that's not a big deal. That's not really an issue.
So do you go to meetings monthly, or is there something like that, that do you know about that?
It's a national,
Can I ask a question though?
Wait, go ahead and answer
it's a
one.
national organization. As far as I know, there are monthly meetings that we would participate. I'm sure there are monthly meetings that the board members do, but it covers decommissioned bases that are having difficulty with redevelopment after the base moves out under BRAC. And then there are categories for communities of different sizes. We being the smaller size, we only have to pay $200.
So that would be relayed back to the community if it was necessary, or any information, or?
Well, information.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Anything that came from this group would obviously be
Yeah.
related to the community. And again, what we're, as Charlie said, larger communities pay a larger fee for the
Yeah.
year. We're the smallest community on the list.
It's not a PAC or anything, right? It's not a political action committee or anything.
Not that I know.
Not to my knowledge.
It's just the information.
Exactly.
Right.
Okay, I have a motion.
Eleanor,
Oh, I'm sorry, Eleanor, I apologize. Go
That's
ahead.
okay, is this a new committee, this defense committee that you're voting on? Is this something new that's come out?
Well, it's not a committee, it's a national
organization.
association.
But it is not a new organization.
I don't
It's been
believe
in
so. Is
existence?
the date, that just,
No.
Doesn't say on here.
yeah, I just selected information off the homepage.
Because it surprises me, unless it is a new one, why we wouldn't have joined it a long time ago.
There are a lot of different groups out there.
Oh, I know that,
Right.
but
This one just happened to come to us.
we are directly impacted.
Yes.
So any little bit we can join, $200 is really not a lot of.
I think
I agree.
the chairman of the board of this organization is from Texas, where
Right. Well,
they
I
have
don't,
the
when I
larger
sat on the school
bases.
board, we joined many of them, and some were better than others, but you gotta be in the game.
Well, it would be good if the school district and the village and town shared
Absolutely.
information on that
Mhm.
too.
But I just thought maybe this was a new one, because I've never seen this, but I don't know the village. That was my question.
Thank you. Any other questions? Jim moved to join the organization.
I'll second.
We have a second from Charlie. All those in favor? Opposed?
But I do like the idea of prorating our membership. I think we should.
I'll see if they do that. If they don't do that, maybe we should wait till September, I don't know, it's up to you guys.
That's not a problem. Okay, now we have a few minutes from Marty Burns, Town of Highlands Fall Foliage Festival.
Oh, for anybody who doesn't know me, okay. Marty Burns, Assistant Captain with the Town of Highlands Ambulance, and the Chairman of the Fall Foliage Festival. What I gave you, well, I asked Jimmy, is a little street map, just so you have a visual of what I'm talking about. I've been down to Stony Point and Haverstraw and places like that that have fairs even a little bigger than ours. Our biggest problem is numbering the street. Okay, if anybody looks down Main Street now, you see four fall foliage festivals worth of tape. You have green, you have gray, you have pink, you have all kinds. What they do is they take the face of the curb that's parallel and they permanently number it. They get a little 3 or 4 inch stencil and they paint the numbers on. So that's kind of what I want to ask for, is if we can permanently number the street, that way my map then stays the same, because if you don't number and you start in the exact same place that you started last year, okay, it messes up everything. These are, what, over here, like West Point Tours and the ice cream shop, those are all landmarks as to where the vendors are.
There's curbs
Okay.
everywhere where we wanna.
And if there's not, we can just put it on top, you know, if there's a curb cut for driveway, we'll just put it
Right.
on top,
What color?
black. The numbering takes 2 days. And that's 2 days in if everybody's seeing us down at 7:30 on a Thursday morning, bending down the whole up and whole the way back in traffic. So it really is not only a little dangerous, okay? It takes, so you number it, then Friday you go and check it and replace all the ones that the cars took off. And then pray on Saturday morning that you didn't make a mistake, because when you get a vendor and you're missing a space, it's a nightmare. Okay, so this way, and then the map that I have can go to anybody else who's having something. It's permanent, you know.
Sounds too easy.
Well, I just don't know if it's a highway thing. I don't know exactly who is in charge of saying yes to this. You know, I mean, it's not going to impede traffic. It's not going to do anything with the parking, or, you know, they're just little 4-inch numbers. There'll be, each number between 1 and 1 will be 11 feet, 2 and 2 will be 11 feet, and that's the real estate that the vendors buy from us, and that's where we make our money.
And having helped Marty do this for 2 years, I really, really think it's a great idea.
And then if a curb has to be dug up or whatever, we'll just renumber, you know, that space is gonna move, it's just gonna be renumbered. And the cost, the ambulance corps is gonna take care of the paint and the, you know, and we're gonna actually do the work. So, you wanna think about it, or, you know?
Well, we'll table it till next thing.
Okay.
One of the big reasons I wanted to make sure that you got to this meeting was to get it out to the public,
Right.
so that, also if there's any other, ideas or discussion, it would come to us.
Right.
But Jim, you had something?
My only question is we don't ever rotate the sections of Main Street that we have the festival.
Good question. That was brought up to me this year. They, in perfect world, I'm gonna have the entire Main Street as a fall foliage. That's my perfect world. We do have a fall foliage Facebook page, by the way. I've already got applications in. I started very early this year and very pleased. But that is a thought, to have North Main Street, South Main Street, but my whole thing is to have the whole thing be a fall foliage. That's what I'm looking at, but,
Because
you know.
I do think that the meters in that section are actually numbered already. But I'm not against numbering the sidewalk, I'm just saying.
But the meters?
Yeah, I think they actually have numbers down. I'm not sure.
Well, these will go right on the
Yeah,
curb.
I'm not
because-
against doing it.
No,
I'm just
because
saying
that was the thought too, was the spaces, but the spaces aren't big enough.
big enough.
So I go 11 feet, the spaces are what, 8 feet or whatever. It doesn't work out.
Yeah. I'm just saying, if you had numbered all them up that section of town, you end up going to this section.
Oh, I would just keep numbering. Just keep numbering until I run out of the street. But if you could think about that and let me know.
That's not
That's a good idea.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Okay.
We have the bills and claims. Does anyone have any questions?
No, he's very sorry.
We have a motion.
There's no questions, I'll make a motion to pay the bills and claims for 12 and 2013.
Do you have a second? Thank you, John.
I looked at it downstairs, I'm fine. I made the second motion to pay this.
All those in favor of paying the bills and claims in the amount of $86,524.54?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Public comment.
Gus Kutranis, West Point Motel. The months leading up to the election, the previous administration had a lot of projects in the works. I was wondering if there's any update as to any of those projects, specifically the Knights of Columbus, if we got the grant.
I'm not certain. I haven't heard anything. I'll wait, Pat would have more information on that, but I didn't hear a thing on it. I was checking on
And congratulations for everybody getting reelected and the new faces on the board, too. It's all new faces. And-
Looking sharp tonight, Mr. Kuchar.
Yeah, thank you, sir, thank you. Okay, I was just wondering if you had any update on all the projects that were started or before the election in terms of any approvals or any monies or from previous administration?
We do have an update. There's no movement. This is the third time that actually the fifth time that we've reached out about the money for the Knights of Columbus Hall. It is still, they're still waiting to get it.
Who's
Orange
by
County.
day?
Orange County. So Orange County hasn't received it, so, and they didn't have any information as far as, any timeline. Their one response was, these things have come across as late as June. So,
The main problem is what's going on in Washington, trickles down here.
right.
I don't know if this is going to matter. It's still for sale. It's still active on the MLS. I talked to the agent. The price is reduced. I don't know if it's reduced to where the village is buying it. It's reduced from its original price. And there's no contract signed. Now, not sure if you need a grant for that, but the listing agent told me last month, if I have a party who's interested, make them an offer, and it's still open. So this is not the normal way of selling a property, but maybe the grant process is a little different. But it's complicated to understand why don't we have a contract on this?
I actually.
Why is there not a signed contract with the caveat that we will take your offer, that when you get the grant money, we're willing to wait the year, the 2 years. That's how most things are sold. So I'm just a little confused about there not being in the contract.
It's my understanding there's a verbal.
Well,
There's a verbal.
I think that's a great idea.
Understanding in
We
place.
should contact
well,
them and get
the
something ready.
listing agent says a verbal contract is as good as the paper it's written on, is what he told me.
Okay.
But do we have more than a verbal commitment of a grant?
Oh, yeah. Just waiting for the check.
So nothing,
I also don't know what the urgency of selling the building would be from the current owners. That's my question. I don't know what the urgency would be from the current owners to unload the building. It's not like a.
Well, if they are maintaining it, if they're heating it,
Yeah,
if they are paying any taxes on it,
right.
all of those fees, as any homeowner or commercial property, they may be willing, it's up to them. You may wait 5 years for your nephew to buy your house, which is fine. I'm just saying, I'm a little, I was confused by previous hearing, the last one, and I actually did have a buyer. I'm not gonna bring a buyer there personally, because that's not my interest. I won't decline one.
Well, we actually have something in
Which
writing.
I can't-
We actually
cannot.
have something in writing that's being held till June 30th. We've received something in writing saying that it would be held till June 30th
Correct.
as the short term.
June 30th this year. Oh, okay.
So the seniors keep on thinking they're getting it any month,
That's
if
the
you
game
talk
plan.
to them, yeah.
It's not dead. It's
Yeah.
still out there and we're still waiting. And again, it's coming from the federal to the county to us. So until the county gets something, they have nothing to.
So the county has nothing either way, you're getting it or you're not getting it.
Correct.
Because of what's happening,
Well, Gina, correct me if I'm wrong, we got approved for the grant, we're just waiting
Right.
for the money, we're just waiting for the check. So as soon as they get it, then it would be a handoff.
And this
Still
person
waiting.
still is willing to hold that property till June 3rd?
Yeah, it's a nice of Columbus,
Yeah,
you won't
yeah.
do
But so if he got a better offer, say July 1st, where does that leave us?
Well, it might be something for the mayor to send
Yeah.
a letter of correspondence back saying,
Because-
hey, look, we're still waiting for 2 different entities, can we get another
If I, you know what I
60
mean, the
days?
way property is right now, if I got a better offer, I'm not gonna hold off on an
Sure.
iffy.
We're in
government.
contact, we're in contact with the Knights.
Yeah.
So we are in contact with the Knights, and we are in contact with Orange County. Unfortunately, it's a waiting game at this point.
Okay, I hate to bring this point up, but I have to. I'm new to politics. I don't like it all that much. But has the former mayor conceded the election to you either privately or publicly? Okay.
Does he have to?
I think that's the protocol, isn't that the protocol? To concede the election? I know he took off his plates. That's about it. But I was just wondering if he conceded the election to you. If he called you or...
I haven't been in contact with.
Oh, and one last thing. The Greek flag raising ceremony was very, very nice, but it's my understanding that they were sort of short on a flag. And
We're working on that too.
And you're working on that problem as well. Okay, all right, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you. Any other comment, public comment? Or comment? Charlie?
Well, during the budget process, I had asked the treasurer for the tax exempt property report. And he didn't believe that the village or the town had to have one of these. I checked with the town because they are our assessing unit, so it probably makes more sense that they would do this report than for us. They do in fact have a tax exempt property report. I would ask that the clerk get a copy of it for us, because there are properties that if they haven't been taken off the tax rolls yet, they are going to be very shortly. And I think it's important for our board to be aware of that because it's affecting our tax base.
Who actually gives them the exempt status? I'm not certain.
Can I just respond? We do have the list.
You
And I
do?
do have a list on my Excel spreadsheet that I have done. No, the treasurer didn't know that I had that, but we do have it, and we do get a list with our assessment roll, it comes with our assessed taxes. So it's easily gotten to you tomorrow.
The board should have that. There
Yes.
are questions.
Gina, off the top of your head, how many you got?
How many properties? Off the top of my head, I can't tell you, maybe 20, 25 or so. Dollars amount, I can't tell you off the top of my head, but it is on my spreadsheet.
Right.
But we do have that readily available.
Thank you.
I had two other things. Well, the chief of police, our clerk staff and I did attend a civil service training session given by the county. And it was informative, it clarified things and communications about how we deal with public employees. Unfortunately, every question that I asked about how civil service could benefit the taxpayer, they always had a pat phrase, ask your attorney. So it was a little frustrating, but I do have copies of the PowerPoint and the classified service report. If you don't already have your own copy, I'll make copies. And then the other thing was that we had a notice in our mailboxes about a course being offered, I believe in Fishkill, for sexual harassment, violence, and the right to know. It's nice that they've invited us to participate on Tuesday night, but that tends to be a tough night for some of us to attend. I did call the individual who provides the training and asked if our required annual training through ambulance corps or fire would suffice. And he said no, but he left a message on my cell phone, and I've got to get back to him because I think his notion was he could talk to me, and if everyone on the board had had some training through a different agency, I could provide the little additional for our job specific requirements. But I need clarification on that because I wasn't quite sure how I was being empowered to be the instructor.
Gina, she's talking about the workman's comp?
Talking about workplace violence,
Right.
sexual harassment, right?
The classes the workman's comp I told us about?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
With that, anyone actually can do the training for the most. It's they give you the materials, but we did talk to the gentleman from workman's comp, and he has agreed to come down and give the training himself to us. So we have to schedule that. What they're trying to do is make sure that, let's say, the date we schedule for ourselves, you weren't able to attend. That's why they're giving out the fish gill and the other date also, because for people that missed classes, you can go to this class and get everything done now and not have to wait, because he's not going to keep coming down. If we do miss it, we can do it ourselves. We prefer that it doesn't cost us anything for him to come down. So we prefer that the professional do the class, so he's here to answer any questions, because if we get questioned, if I'm running the class and I get questions and it's not my bag, then it's, then we have to, I'll call him, we'll get back to everyone. He can answer questions immediately, and that's why we are setting that up.
Terrific.
Okay, Jim?
I had a brief meeting with John Hager and Bruce Terwilliger down at the building department, and kind of getting brought up to speed on a few of the issues that were going on. It was a brief meeting. I got called away, so we're going to continue that this week. But there were the usual topics of discussion, 109 Center. And I know they had given an update, I think a brief update to you, Pat, because that's what he had said. But it's pretty much the same situation as it was before. It's in between a bank and the owner, semi-not owner, and mortgage company. And
Not to interrupt, only because you brought up 109 Center, we did move it forward a little bit. Right now, Ben Gailey is finalizing the letter. Our goal, and this is going to be a goal to continue with any other properties that are like this, according to the law, according to the code, we can charge a property daily, maximum amount, and that's what we're going to do. Because these people have been this way for several years, non-responsive. The property is definitely in bad shape, and the neighborhood is suffering because of it. So we have, it is an issue, as you said, Jim, because we don't have an owner, an individual. It's a bank, so it is going to take a little more time, but we are moving forward on the fact that they will be fined daily, and then that will go against their taxes, which is the only thing they're responding to by paying their taxes so they don't lose the building. So that's how we're moving forward with 109 Center at this point.
It's just, 109 is, typical for
Exactly.
anybody kind of walking away from a mortgage or, walking away from properties because they don't want to do the work, or it becomes too much to deal with. And this is just like basically a perfect storm, because it's I think it's even an out-of-state mortgage holder, and so they're not here. And sometimes people do have to walk away for whatever reasons, financial. Sometimes they just don't care anymore. But it's a sad situation, and it's been a long time going. And I think there's still a long road ahead, but it is moving.
So it's been years, right, that I've been hearing about that. So what is it? It just getting more and more decayed? So they're putting liens, against the house. But meanwhile, the people are trying to live there and sell their houses. How do we fix it or do?
We've changed the law
It's
probably
real difficult.
3 or 4 times.
Takes a long time.
It just takes a long time, because the bank will pay its taxes.
Right.
So if the
And
there's
there's
paying the
nothing
taxes,
further that-
right?
You can
Well,
do.
when we
Yeah.
say fine, we're not talking $25. We're talking thousands. We're talking, the maximum penalty per day. So it will add up quite quickly, and when tax time comes around, If they pay the taxes, then, you know, we can put up a nice tree sanctuary around there. It's gonna be that much money. I believe this is gonna be it. John Hager's looked into several different solutions on this. The only other way is to condemn it. He doesn't feel it's at that point. So they have put a lot of time into this one. And also, as Jim said, it's not isolated. This one, to me, is more isolated because of the horrible shape.
Yeah.
But this is exactly what's happening all over
around.
the country
Yeah.
now. So this is a good procedure
Yeah.
to have in place if these people don't respond. If they respond and say, we had to walk away, do what you have to do, that's different. These people have not responded to any correspondence.
The best case scenario would be that it gets to a point where actually someone could actually purchase it and totally redo it. And it stays on the tax rolls, and
Right.
that would be the,
So
that
what
would
is
be
the
the.
value of the house? I mean, how
I
do
mean,
we?
I couldn't give you a
Bobby?
value.
I don't know, I'm not familiar with this one.
You know what I mean?
There's some value technically because the
Yeah.
foundation's still
That's
intact.
true. Yeah.
Whatever that number is. I'm not an appraiser, so I wouldn't want to give
No,
you.
I'm just saying, it just gets worse and worse, the
Yes.
cake, and you know what I mean? How would you have to live with it?
Okay, yeah.
No.
I'm missing windows.
Yeah, in our house.
And the owners, well, what are the
It's
owners?
difficult. We
Yeah, I
had,
know.
we dealt with the Hilltop years ago.
Yeah,
Hilltop was like that
It
for a
was
decade.
3, 4, 5 years,
A
and
decade.
this is it, the attorney said this and that, and then we sent the building department in to condemn the building, and they didn't give them access, which
right.
they don't have.
Right.
So, then we
But
decided.
the owners are alive? Actually, I know the bank owns it, but the owners
believe
or
so.
the property, yeah,
Yeah,
But
that's sort
they're
of
not,
process
you
now.
know, one's not claiming ownership.
yeah,
You know, when you walk away from it,
yeah.
it's difficult, especially when it's an outside mortgage holder. I'm not trying to give a plug to a local bank, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you know,
And there's no
people,
interest, right,
there's no interest, there's
Right.
no,
absolutely.
there's
They're
nothing.
probably not aware of the condition of the property either, you know?
none.
Yeah.
So that's, you know, you're dealing with a company that could care less.
It's too bad for us.
Yeah,
So you have to hit them where you hope you get
so they
some.
liquidate.
So anyway, I'm meeting again with both John and Bruce this week.
Excellent. Thank you, Bob.
Charlie and I have seen the inherit the police contracts. I'll be reaching out to Anthony Safar this week to discuss the possibility of sitting down and proceeding from that point. We're sort of at a stalemate, I understand, but we're optimistic and we'll do what we need to do to start this up once again and see if we can get something accomplished. I'm not sure. We got the old contracts and we got the numbers and everything, and we'll be coming in at that point. We'll see where it goes from there.
Excellent. I've met with Chief Scott several times. We're going over some policies and procedures. I've met with Patterson. He's done several projects. There was an issue at one point with the restrooms at Roe Park that was taken care of relatively quickly. They're in the middle of several projects that they've completed. I would like to thank them in particular for the removal of the fence that was coming out in Roe Park next to the fence going by the lake. It was like a fence going to nowhere, and that's been pulled out and the area looks better. And now what we're looking for from the residents is, we don't necessarily know the committee, but your comments on Roe Park improvements, whether they be minor or something that we can start looking to the future to plan for. Along those lines, we have established several people on a Main Street committee. I believe it's very important. It's not just going to deal with Main Street, but that's going to be the name of the committee. The committee being, it's more of a quality of life and to a committee to assess the needs of Main Street as well as what will bring back the look of a true Main Street for our village. And then the committee then would move on up, whether it be up Mountain Avenue, other areas. Again, more eyes on the street, because that's what we need. We need more people communicating with the board and letting us know could this be done, could this be done? And that's what's got to start up again. The communication has got to start up. So if there's anyone interested, we already have about 8 people on the committee. If there are other people interested that want to be active, please contact me at Village Hall, and we'll see about getting you on the committee. We did meet with the Luster Group. I met with the Luster Group this past week, and with several other, with Bob Livesey and June Gunza, and several other members of the community to hear what their proposals are for the community. They have a lot of projects that they're looking at. They are very interesting. I don't want to put many of them out here with all the full information. So we do have their breakdown. We're going to slowly introduce those to the community so everyone's aware of the different projects that are out there for Highland Falls. And the reason why we wanted Mr. Livesey and June from the town is that these projects are going to affect all of us. So we want to make sure, again, that we're all on board and we're all together moving forward. Any questions? Any other comments?
On the Main Street Committee, do you or a member of the board meet with this committee on a regular basis?
We will once it's formally formed.
It's not
We're just
formed.
putting it together right now.
Okay.
That I'm hoping that right now we have 3 committees that we're putting together. They're not fully formed at this point.
Is that information in the paper?
I will meet with Mary Jane to make sure it gets in the paper. Okay?
Several people had asked me if there was any kind of committees being formed for just what you're saying, beautification of Main Street, because that's the first thing you see when you come in
Right.
town.
And that was a big issue. Quality of life was a big issue people have been discussing for the last couple of years. Lastly, we're 1 month in, and a lot of people are asking how everything's going. I will tell you this, that there is a lot of work that needs to be done, but the board and the staff have been excellent, and I see a lot of exciting things coming for the future of this village and the town. And again, my biggest comment out to the public is your comments matter. So it's not going to be the 5 of us making the decisions. We will be the final 5 to say we're moving forward, but the more people that participate in the process, the better grip we'll have on what our community actually wants. Anything else? Can I have a motion to go in executive session for specific employee issues? All in favor? Opposed? Executive session. Thank you so much for coming. Have a great week. It is. That's what I was told.